It gives me great pleasure in welcoming you all to this final programme meeting for the Institutional Approaches to Curriculum Design programme, which started life in 2008, a very different world to the one we're now in. A special word of welcome to our invited guests for day one of the meeting. Brian Lehaney, Assistant Director, QAA, Philippa Levy, Deputy Chief Executive, the Higher Education Academy, Chris Rowell, who's representing CEDA, Liz Parcell from RSC Wales, and Peter Chatterton. We're delighted to have you all with us and hope this meeting gives you an opportunity to explore how we can work together on ensuring the knowledge and outcomes from this work are effectively disseminated to your stakeholders. It's great to have all the project's representatives here today, most of whom attended the startup meeting that we had in Oxford back in 2008. And of course, our critical friends as well, who have really been underpinning the work of the programme. You will have noticed Lisa Gray's name down for this session, and Lisa has very kindly agreed to take on the programme management for the programme in the final phase whilst I go on maternity leave. So you will be in excellent hands. Also representing the eLearning programme here today is our Director Tish Roberts and fellow programme manager Ruth Drysdale. And you'll have met Verena on registration, who has been working with Marianne to ensure the smooth running of the meeting. In terms of housekeeping, there are no planned fire drills today, and if we do hear the alarm, we need to leave through the main entrance and assemble at the point which we'll be informed about. Refreshments are available throughout the day from the stations and the lounge areas, and lunch is served in the main restaurant. And tonight your accommodation and evening meals are in the business school. The wireless code is on the flip charts and you have access to PowerPoints under your tables. A reminder that we're using the JISC CDD hashtag. There has been considerable interest, I think, in the following of the hashtag, so do use that if you are making any comments or reflections on the meeting, so that those who aren't here today can follow the progress of the meeting. All presentations will be available from the programme page on the JISC website after the meeting. So just a reminder in terms of the aims and intentions for the final programme meeting. And I think first and foremost it's to celebrate the success and achievements of the projects, of which we're going to be hearing more about today. The next 3 points on the slide relate mainly to focusing on what we'll be discussing on day 2, looking at how projects can best ensure their activities are sustained and embedded into institutional curriculum design processes and practices, looking at how projects can continue to share their experiences and outputs with the wider sector through programme support activities and benefits realisation opportunities, and offer practical advice and guidance on compilation of the final report and programme project outputs. And most importantly, the last point, in relation to these types of meetings, facilitate discussion, sharing, collaboration around common issues and challenges throughout the next 2 days. And we know that these meetings are particularly productive in terms of enabling those conversations across projects, across clusters, and today across different stakeholder groups as well. So just a very brief run through then for the agenda for today, which you have hopefully printed out in front of you. We're starting off with a session led by Helen Beetham and Jill Ferrell in terms of where we started from, what has changed in relation to curriculum design practices and processes, and where the programme was starting from back in 2008. Then moving on to a session entitled What Have We Learned? And here we've invited the clusters to present what they have learned in relation to the following headings, namely business processes, organisational change, and educational principles and curriculum design practices. So really looking forward to hearing the learning from the 3 clusters around those particular themes, which have really underpinned the programme over the past 4 years. At 1 o'clock we'll be having lunch in the main restaurant, and following lunch we'll be starting with our celebrating our successes sessions. These will be run in terms of 2 sessions, where we're inviting projects to make short 10-minute presentations around the successes and achievements of their projects. So a really good opportunity of hearing the outcomes of the projects, and I think that also ties in to the hard work the projects have been doing around their institutional stories and valuation reports in pulling together the holistic picture of what their project has achieved over the past 4 years. The meeting closes at 5, with a reminder that between 5 and 6 there will be some final report surgeries. So please make sure that you have a look and make sure you know when your surgery for your project has been allocated. At 7 there'll be a drinks reception in the lounge area of the business school, followed by a meal in the restaurant of the business school. So I hope you will have a very enjoyable evening. In addition, just 2 further points to mention. Evaluation. Instead of the usual evaluation survey form that we'll send to you, what we thought we'd do with this meeting is give you the opportunity of sharing your feedback over the next 2 days. So we have got some sheets which will be posted up on the walls around us, and please do share the positives and negatives from your experiences of the meeting of the next 2 days with us. In addition, Peter Chatterton will be conducting some interviews with you and the Critical Friends around your experiences in relation to the role the Critical Friends have played within your project, and also in terms of the use of the CAMEL model and the cluster model in enabling that collaboration and sharing of experiences. And those interviews will inform the further development of the Critical Friends and Effective Practice Guide, and also the JISC Infonet CAMEL resources. So some really valuable points and feedback there, opportunities for us to further develop those 2 excellent resources. So I thought before I hand over to Lisa that I would just go back in time and revisit 2008, and pulled out a quote from the original call, the JISC Circular 0508, of which you all bid under. And to say that when we put the original call together for the programme, we had a vision on what we thought curriculum design processes might look like at the end of the programme, in other words in 4 years' time from when we started. And I've just pulled out on that slide some sort of the key points from that vision. And I think that's something that Jill and Helen will certainly revisit in their session following this. But we were saying that curriculum design processes, in terms of our vision of the ideal, should be efficient and flexible, enabling the design of learning opportunities which meet the diverse and changing needs of our learners. The curriculum design and review processes and associated flows of course-related information are well understood and appropriately supported by the technology, and institutions have appropriate and agile curriculum design processes in place to help them achieve their individual mission. So a brief reminder of some of the aspirations we set for the programme, and as we will hear over the next 2 days, how these aspirations have been achieved, or where we now have more evidence of where the barriers are to realising this vision. So further discussion I think will certainly be had around those points, around that vision and the achievements of the programme in realising that. I thought it would also be useful to share some of the unique aspects of this programme, and I feel very privileged to have worked with you all on the programme. For me it's been unique in a number of ways, and I thought I'd just sort of pick out a few points really to share with you. The first being that this was a 4-year funded programme, which has offered us the benefit of allowing time for institutional systems, practices and processes to change. Although recognising that the impact of your work will be continuing for many years to come. Institutional change and culture change happens over time and is not something that we can evaluate in the usual short, sharp funded interventions. So we had a real opportunity with this programme to really follow the journeys through and see the impact of the innovations. We were also able to put together a bespoke package of support in bringing in valuable expertise from the sector, together with the experience of JISC Advanced Services and JISC Cetus. And for the e-learning programme, the opportunity to utilise Critical Friends and build on the CAMEL model of support. I feel this has been invaluable in shaping and guiding of the programme, and the changes we have seen economically, politically and strategically within institutions. So a very big thank you to the Support and Synthesis team, to the Critical Friends, and for those that have been involved in supporting the programme, in all your advice and guidance in steering the projects and the programme in the direction that it has gone. So a few other key sort of programme achievements that I just wanted to highlight, just in terms of some facts and figures. And you're going to be hearing a lot more about the achievements of the individual projects over the next 2 days. So I thought it would be useful to share some facts and figures in relation to the higher level programme activities, which I feel shows the depth and breadth of activities and impact the programme has made in ensuring the outcomes are effectively disseminated widely to the further and higher education community. Some facts and figures then for us. We've run 8 programme meetings, most of which have been 2-day events. We've had approximately 30 programme related webinars with around 800 participants, which I think has shown the sort of the breadth in terms of disseminating the messages from the programmes to the wider community, and the interest that the wider community has expressed in this programme. We've had programme dissemination at over 21 conferences and events, with over 30 presentations, papers and workshops being accepted at those events. The creation of the JISC Design Studio since September 2009 I think was a key achievement for the programme, and has offered us a way of being able to collate the outcomes and the emerging outcomes from projects over the past 4 years. I think this has been a very effective way of engaging the wider community with these outputs, and also gives us a way of being able to tell the story and the narrative around the journey that the programme has made. Some figures there: nearly 40,000 visitors that we've had to the design studio, and some very valuable feedback that we've had to date in terms of taking these developments forward and influencing the use of the design studio for the 2 new programmes of work around digital literacies and assessment and feedback. The programme blog, which was established in January 2010, has had over 7,550 visits. We've had 22,509 downloads of the Managing Curriculum Change publication, that was an overview mini guide around the work of the Design and Delivery programme. And with regards to Twitter, we've had over 2,097 tweets using the JISC hashtag, JISCCDD. So that just gives you an idea and a flavour of this, the breadth and depth of the work that we've been doing in ensuring that the outcomes of the programme are effectively disseminated, and obviously a lot more that we need to carry on doing in this final phase of the programme. So at this point I'm going to stop and hand over now to Lisa, who's going to give you a short update in terms of news from the e-learning programme. But I would just like to take this opportunity of thanking you all for all your hard work and efforts that you've been putting into the programme and to your projects over the last 4 years. As I've said, it's been a real privilege working with you all on the programme. I've learnt a great deal, and it's been an absolute inspiration, I think, to see the work that you've all been doing and the innovations that have taken place in very, very difficult and changing circumstances, both within your institutions and obviously within the wider economic and political context that's been taking place. So I hope you have enjoy the next 2 days with us, celebrate those successes, and really enjoy the conversations around how we can continue the journey in terms of ensuring the next stages of development around this work, and also ensuring that the messages are disseminated widely so that we can really realise the benefits of the work you've been doing. So goodbye from me. I hope to catch up with you all again in March next year and to hear about the final developments from your projects, and have a great 2 days. Thank you.